Yo, what up, what up? It's the Wrap Up Podcast. Episode... What episode we on?
Episode 6.
Alright.
The Jay Cutler episode.
It's my dementia.
No, don't.
The Jay Cutler.
No, don't say that. Bubby Brister? Kevin Butler?
No.
Tyson Chandler?
Dr. J.
Dr. J? That's common, man.
Hey, that's better than anything that we just named before.
Drake?
Nah, you done. You done. He's done. I'm fresh. I don't know who he is. We still looking for Steph. He ain't showing up yet. Talking about some damn
Hey,
Drake.
man. When you leave the plantation sometime, that stuff, you be talking loose, man.
Hey, wait a minute, though. Is that a light-skin joke? With the Drake light-skin plantation? I don't know, man. You might have snuck one in.
Nah, man. Never that.
You ain't out slicking me, player.
Never that.
But, yo, we got another show. Another week that was action-packed. We got a lot to talk about. But you know what? Before we even get started, total 180 here. Have we found out who Candy Bay is yet?
Who? Nah, man.
We found out.
I don't know who Candy Bay is, man.
For those who don't know, Steph got some chick at the job just dropping candy off at his desk. I know if y'all following the show, we already talked about, relationships at work and stuff like that.
She know what I like too.
Somebody, maybe she watched the show. She watched the podcast, dog. I'm just saying. Hey, Candy Bay, if you watching, keep giving candy. Matter of fact, start giving more, because he ain't brought me no candy yet. Bring some for
Yo, Snickers and paydays.
Hey,
Snickers and paydays.
Make it happen. Let's put a face to that name.
Well, we may not want to do that, man, because one of my
might
guys.
Ruin everything.
Yeah, man.
Might ruin it all.
Let's keep the lie alive, man.
Keep the what is it? Anonymity.
Yeah,
keep
man.
The anonymity.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. We like this exclusivity going on right here. We don't know who you are.
For real.
Just keep being anonymous. But yo, man, as you hear from the intro music, or maybe you don't know this, but Lupe dropped a dope album.
Dope project.
Super dope project. Drugs Wave. Over the weekend on Friday, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I want to jump into first, man. I thought the project was dope.
Yeah, it was a good project, man.
Admittedly, right off the top, I want to go ahead and say I am super biased when it comes to Lupe. One, he's Chicago. Two, I think that he is just a phenomenal lyricist. His mind is brilliant. I love the way that he flipped the concept of waves. Because when you think about wave now, you think about whatever is ushering in the new trend.
True. That's true.
And he gave a lot of props to Max B with creating, wavy and the wavy movement and all of that, and I think that's dope. But he totally flipped the entire concept with waves being more so parallel to the struggle of what slaves went through. Mm-hmm. With the Pan-African and Pan-American slave trade, the transatlantic, I should say. I'm sorry, the transatlantic slave trade and
Middle Passage, all that.
Yeah, with how slaves, some of them jumped in the water, some of them, just trying to get away from slavery or the things that they had to endure and go through. I mean, we all know and have a good conscious mind about the terrible things, the tragic things that they went through for slavery. Yeah. But the way that he flipped the concept throughout the album, I thought was just flat out amazing.
It was, and it's actually dope because I'm reading a book called Washington Black, and it's kind of dealing with slavery and all that. So I've been on that whole vibe the last 3 or 4 days because the stories that the shorty in the book is telling, then the stories Lupe fed us, the context, and just putting it in perspective. It was a dope little content-wise weekend for me.
I dig it. It's dope when the universe mesh like that. It's already something that you was reading anyway. Yeah. And then to get some music, it's almost like you got a soundtrack.
It was a soundtrack. Absolutely.
Yeah,
it was a soundtrack. It was a soundtrack.
That's super fresh. That's cold, man. I like that. It's a nice lengthy project. I love you know how I am.
Man,
it's 100 minutes of good music.
This was a feature film, man.
It was.
It was long.
It's very long.
It was long.
It's a few interludes in here and some spoken word and some things like that. So it's a majority of it is music.
Yeah.
But I loved how long it was. It didn't get boring. I will say, even though I'm biased with Lupe, it started slow.
Yeah, it started very slow.
To me,
very slow. I agree.
It started kind of slow, but it picked up. The back half is much better than the front half. Not saying that the first like 6-7 tracks ain't dope, but
it's mood music. It's kind of it's mood music.
Yeah, for sure. But he still dropped a lot of gems in there. He dropped a lot of gems. Definitely was very enlightening project. And one thing, if you listen to Lupe or if you're familiar with Lupe's music, you have to digest his music because you can't always catch everything that he's saying in the first run because the dude is just so complex. He had the double entendres and different layers that he delivers throughout the song and over the tracks is just amazing. Lupe has always been a dude who you have to delve deeper than what he's feeding you on the surface. It's always a multi-layered message in the majority of his music. So that didn't change here, and I just think altogether it was a pretty fresh project.
What I liked about the album was production was on point from jump, even with the tracks that were kind of slow.
Yeah,
the production was still on point. And when we say slow, it's more of like we mentioned prior, that mood music. You have to be in the mood to kind of listen or kind of dig in. It's deep. Yeah, a lot of it is deep, but like it's a tale of two albums. It could have been a double disc, and I think I text you that.
You did.
Where the front half was more of that historical aspect, but the latter part, I say from track maybe 13 down to Mural Junior, which I know you're gonna get into.
Oh yeah, we gonna get into that.
Kind of gave me, it was, and our text was like, yo, this last half is dope. Gave me a Most Def feel, man. It really gave me a Most Def feel.
And that's the thing. I'm glad the fact that you said that it was mood music. This ain't disclaimer out there.
Yeah.
This isn't the song or album that you put on if it's 11 o'clock on a Friday and you're getting ready to hit the club. Y'all going out. This ain't the one that's gonna get you there.
This vacuum and cleaning the toilet on Saturday.
yeah.
Folding clothes music.
This is the one where you just vibe out. You really just immersing yourself into the creativity within the project.
Yeah.
That's what this is for.
Absolutely, I agree.
And I was telling you, I was like, I waited. Because the joint actually came out like 11 and 12 o'clock at night Thursday.
Yeah.
And I saw it and I downloaded it and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. But I waited and I was like, nah, this is going to be for the commute to work.
Yeah.
So let's hold off on this joint. And it's gonna be so much better when I'm on the train and I just get the vibe out. And it was. I loved it, top to bottom. So that's the kind of place that it puts you in. I think you have to be in a certain mindset to appreciate the album more. You can just listen to it for its monetary value, and I'm pretty sure you'll still get something out of it because Lupe is still just that dope.
Yeah.
But if you're ready to delve deep and immerse yourself into the music, I promise you're gonna get a great message up out of it. And it's a nice project. 24 tracks. It was a good project.
This entire series that he's done, the last this is the third one or the second one?
The second one.
The second one has been
Light
dope.
And Drogas Wave.
The Drogas Light was completely different.
It was
for Lupe.
It was. I think the reason that you're saying that is the third is because Tetsuo and Youth, which was before Drogas Light, gave you that same.
Yeah, I kind of take it like as a prelude.
Yeah. And I think that's how he intended for it to be. So if you haven't listened to those albums, Tetsuo and Youth, Drogas Light, Drogas Waves, I definitely recommend it, especially if you're a Lupe fan. If you're a Lupe fan, then I don't understand how you missed all of the projects anyway. But it's definitely, it puts you in a different mind state. It puts you in a different realm of how he is delivering his music before the albums he had before with Food and Liquor, Food and Liquor 2, Lasers, The Cool. It's a totally different vibe.
He's in a different space. You can even lyrically, he's in a different spot, man.
Definitely. And that brings me to the next thing. Is what's your favorite track on that?
Oh, quotations from Chairman Fred, man.
Quotations from Chairman Fred. That's dope. And those who don't know, Chairman Fred was Fred Hampton.
Yeah.
So if you don't know who Fred Hampton is, then you under a rock, or you need to go pick up a book. Google, do the Googles, like Steph say. Go Google who Fred Hampton is.
I actually had two. That one and Haile Selassie.
Haile Selassie was super dope.
Yeah.
And speaking of Googles, not that I didn't know who it was, but I definitely had to go back and what I will say is that Lupe gonna make you do that anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so many layers and so many different messages within his music. He gonna make you go back and Google and be like, yo, what is this? It's gonna be some things that go over your head because he just feeding you so much. So I definitely had to go back and dissect some things, especially on the Haile Selassie joint. That one was big for me.
Yeah.
But like you said already, Murals Jr. was my dope. Was
that's why you kept telling me to skip everything else when you know that's a cardinal rule. I know it is. It's listening to music. We do not skip.
You gotta go through the whole album. And I was almost there. I almost did it. I was like, yo. Murals Jr. First of all, it's 24 tracks. It's like 140, 130. Not 140. It's an hour and 40 minutes worth of music. Murals Jr. is the very last track.
Yep.
Now, when I downloaded the song the day before, and I saw Murals Jr., I immediately wanted to play that because rewind 2 albums before, Tetsuo and Youth, he had a song called Murals.
Yep.
And to me, that was the dopest track on that album. No hook, no breaks. It's just Lupe just going in, bar for bar, and he just killing it. So when I seen Murals Jr., I'm like, yo, here we go again. It's another one. We finna rewind and my man's is gonna go in. So I had to pace myself. I had to brace myself, and it was like, yo, let's just listen to the whole album. But when I got to the end, I was not disappointed.
Yeah.
The last 2 tracks.
Are dope.
The Timbuktu joint.
Timbuktu was real close.
It was super dope as well.
Nice way to pay homage, man.
Definitely. If you don't know who Timbuktu is, prominent DJ in Chicago. He passed away a few years ago. 2 years.
Yeah, about 2 years.
2 years. It might have been 3 years. I want to say 2015, but I ain't sure. But he passed away a couple of years ago, and very prominent DJ, not just in Chicago. Timbuktu was prominent everywhere.
Yeah.
But he paid homage to Timbuktu on the second to last track, which I thought was real dope. But those are my 2 favorite tracks.
I like King Nas. The way he was spitting on King Nas is crazy.
And all of these tracks is toward the back of the album.
The back end.
Not that the front album, the front half ain't dope, because it's still nice. Like I said, he was doing his thing, but the back half of this album just straight bananas, man. So I really was digging Lupe album. If you haven't heard it, go check it out. I think it's super dope. It's a very concise project. I like the fact that you brought up the production was dope. It didn't get stale.
It didn't.
The production didn't get stale. I thought it had a lot of different sounds. It took you to a bunch of different moods. A little trap, a little south.
And I was waiting for the redundancy in the beats, but we never got it.
Because with 24 tracks, you expect to hear it. You was like, okay, we're going to find somebody who didn't, give a repetitive sound, but it didn't really it never gave you that vibe. So
even the track that I couldn't stand or tolerate, one of the interludes when it was just the violins.
Yeah.
But then once I digest the album and thought about that first half and what that first half was about, it fit.
It's transitional.
Yeah, it fit.
And that's another thing that I think he really took from Tetsuo and Youth. Tetsuo and Youth, he did like the strings and orchestra type instrumentals. But he had them named after the season. So it was fall, it was spring, it was summer. So the transition that he made throughout the album took you to a different place. Man, when I tell you this dude Lupe is very, very deep, you cannot. If you are a surface level listener, this probably ain't
gonna work for you.
I'm gonna just be completely honest. You might even get bored with the album because it's gonna be just so much going over your head. And that's not a knock on you. That's just how you digest music. So I mean, it is what it is. But if you like to really dissect music, dissect the message, and say, hey, What is this person thinking? Where are they going? Where is this message
going to
take you? Yeah, the intricacies. If that's what you look for in music, this is an album for you. The last 3 albums that he's put out is something for you. So I would definitely recommend going to check it out. This one was fresh.
Yeah, I dig it.
Super dope.
I dig it.
Yeah, man. So Drogas Waves, if you haven't checked it out, go get it. Lupe's album, you can get that everywhere. It dropped last Friday. Moving on to a little bit more sad news. Well, I wouldn't even say sad. I'm gonna take that back.
Melancholy.
I'm gonna reel that in.
Melancholy.
Yeah, melancholy is a better word.
Get our Love Jones on.
I'm not. This is a good vocabulary word. Yeah. I'm gonna reel that in because I'm not sad about it. I'm a little conflicted. I'm a little upset. Maybe a tad bit angry. But the Bill Cosby situation.
Yeah, man.
So right off the bat, I am going to say this. I am not, by no means am I saying that Bill Cosby shouldn't be going to jail.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I'm going to say. If you did the things that they said that he did to these women, he deserves to be in prison.
Yeah, I agree.
So by no means am I justifying anything that he did. Bill Cosby deserves to be in prison.
But.
But the issue that I have is the playing field is not fair.
Yeah.
When we talking about crime, with the crimes being committed as egregious as we talking about rape. We talking about sodomy. We talking about illicit drug use.
Yeah.
The playing field needs to be very clear, very plain across all creeds, all races, all any type of situation that you could come across. The playing field needs to be fair. If you're raping a woman, if you're drugging a woman, you need to go to jail.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's not what's being placed here.
No.
And that's the main issue that I have. Bill Cosby this week was sentenced for 3 to 10 years.
3 to 10.
For allegedly raping women. I mean, to me, just following the case loosely, I'm not gonna say that I've immersed myself in the details of this case, but I still don't see, and I haven't heard any substantial evidence besides the witness testimonies. And I'm not gonna say that these don't go a long way. I don't want to victimize the victims here. Yeah. But not saying that their testimonies don't go a long way, but there's no substantial evidence. And then again, this happened 20, 30, 40 years ago. So it's kind of hard to bring up the evidence. To me, this has nothing to do with statute of limitations. No. If you raped a woman 30 years ago, no matter if it was 30 years, 30 days, 30 hours ago, you deserve to go to jail. But if you're going to prosecute Bill Cosby to the fullest extent of the law, that same judgment needs to be run across all planes. It's too many rapists in prominent positions who are still free.
You know, and
that's my issue.
And it's one of those things. Once again, I say it whenever we talk about Bill Cosby, even for those that followed the last pod, everybody know that Bill Cosby is like, yo, I'm a Bill. Even when we did the comedy episode, Bill Cosby fan. Yeah. So I was torn in the aspect more of a hero being, jail.
Down.
Yeah. So with that, I'm still able to separate, the artist and the man.
True.
The man was wilding. So yeah, we got that. Yeah. He should go to jail.
Yep.
But my question that I'll pose for you too, as for the metoo movement, this was the big fine. First, it was the Harvey one. Well, it was Bill back in 2004. Yeah. Then it started coming up later within maybe 2016, 2017. Then Harvey Weinstein. Everybody that's coming up that all allegedly have done the same thing. I think now, since he was found guilty in the court of law, we can kind of take the alleged off of Bill. Yeah, but I'm going to still say alleged because I got my thoughts on that too.
I agree.
So, with all of that being said, what's left now of the Me Too movement? I think I posted a couple of days ago. Are they fine now? Are they good that, okay, Bill went, we done? Are they going to go after all these other celebrities that's out here, touching everybody. Even the lady that started the Me Too movement, it even came out that she had a case where she was with a 17-year-old guy and paid him $300,000 hush money.
Right.
Why
and
isn't
Bill
this
paid her $3.5 million,
so why isn't she being brought? Even though you started the movement with Harvey, why aren't you now? Even though he paid hush money, I mean, she paid hush money to the guy. Why aren't you now getting that same vilification?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what sits wrong with me. Absolutely.
If you did the same thing, the judgment needs to be reciprocated.
Absolutely.
But going back to your question of what now for the Me Too movement, if your message dies now, then your message was skewed from the beginning.
Yep. And then I'm calling witch hunt.
Yeah, because if your message dies now, you were only looking for a martyr. You were looking for somebody to take the fall, somebody to place the blame on. Not saying that Bill Cosby is without blame. First of all, I'm gonna just be honest. I think he did it.
Yeah.
You can't have this many people coming out to say that you did it and you didn't. But let's say, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Let's say you didn't do it. You can't continuously put yourself in the same position for people to blame you for an accusation such as heinous. I mean, such heinous as rape. You cannot. So he has to take a brunt of this blame. If rape is unexcusable, that's not. It's unforgivable. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
So he deserves to go to jail. But if you're only looking for a martyr, if you're only looking for a scapegoat, if you're only looking for a person to tag as the villain for the Me Too movement, and then this dies, your entire message from the beginning of this movement is skewed.
And you know what? To the masses, I'm not going to even say it's skewed because they got somebody. Those that think on a wider plane will say that it's skewed, but no one else is even mentioning Me Too movement with Bill Cosby, you know, going to jail. It's okay, he raped and now he's getting what he's deserved. I want the Me Too movement to say, okay, I'm fine with them saying, okay, one down, 17 more to go.
Exactly.
You know?
If you get Bill, get everybody.
Yeah.
Get Harvey Weinstein. Get
Kevin Spacey.
Get the other dude who crazy on the drugs was hitting women with the HIV. Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen. Your president of the United States was accused of rape. If you're going to go after Bill Cosby, go after everybody. And it's not just I don't want to even just limit it to prominent men and prominent women in the entertainment industry. If this Me Too movement is going to be as big as it's supposed to be, if it's going to be as
empowering,
profound and as empowering as it's supposed to be, then go after everybody. This is leave no stone unturned. Persecute every damn body who has done something wrong or has victimized somebody or taken that innocence away from a woman or a man.
Yeah.
I mean, because let's be clear here.
Yeah.
This ain't just for the women who have been victimized. It's men who've been victimized.
Yeah.
You know, like with the whole I'm not sure if you heard with like the Ohio State scandal with the with all of the, I think it was Ohio State. I might be wrong, but I believe it was Ohio State or it might have been Michigan with all of them wrestlers and the wrestling coaches who was being charged with not being charged but being sought out for raping and fondling men and it was it was super prominent in the 80s and 90s. I want to say it was Ohio State. I might have to backtrack, but I'm almost positive that it was Ohio State.
We'll say it loosely. I'll roll with you.
Yeah, but let's talk about that. Let's talk about the gymnast who was raping all of the women in for Team USA.
Yep.
You know, and I know that I think they may have
charged him. They gave this man like 40. Yeah, he got a lot.
So I mean, let's not stop here at Bill Cosby. If this Me Too movement is really going to be as profound, impactful, and as empowering as you said, if that's the nature of what this movement is supposed to be, go for the gusto, get everybody, round them all up.
But I you know me, conspiracy Stephan, got a theory that I really feel, and I hope this isn't the case, that we're going to be not we are, but they're going to be content. Meaning, whoever's behind the Me Too, whoever is the face or behind the scenes in Me Too, I think this is enough to say we've gotten somebody. Especially when Gloria Allred hitches her trailer to the truck. You know it's what it is. She's an ambulance chaser, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So once again, and I don't want to keep beating a dead horse by saying go get, not just because Bill was black and everybody else that we've heard of has been white. We taking race out the issue. We know why Bill was being targeted. Maybe had a little bit to do with race and being the biggest name.
Yeah.
You know Harvey Weinstein, but you don't really know Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
You know Kevin Spacey, but Kevin Spacey not Bill Cosby.
Yeah, he's not. I mean,
and then the amount of women that came out for Bill Cosby,
tough.
That's astronomical.
That's tough. I mean, because Kevin Spacey is really big. But he's not Bill Cosby.
He's not Bill Cosby.
First of all, Bill Cosby was.
I can still go watch Kaiser Soze if I want to.
Man, listen.
I can still watch The Matrix if I want to.
Yeah.
I can still go watch Star Trek, George Takei, if I want to.
Hey, speak on it.
You know what I'm saying?
Speak on it.
I can't go watch The Cosby Show.
Nah.
But for my birthday, I got the box set, so I'm good. So, you know what I'm saying? So, I just want it to be an even playing field. Even this is something that we don't want to talk about, we don't want to discuss because of how vile everything is.
Yeah.
But I just want it to be just so we can just remove that connotation of black versus white.
Yeah, because that's not what it should be about.
Yeah.
This should be about being able to make sure that we can see to it that there is first of all, it's just too much evil in this world. It's no way that you can eradicate all of the evil that men do. But if we can shed enough light to scare the shit out of these these rapists, and make them know that, oh, it's an eye on you, we watching you, then let's do that. Because that's why I don't want to bring up race. This isn't a oh, they only did this to the black guy.
Yeah.
I want this to be an even playing field for all rapists.
They did this because
everybody
he did this.
Right.
Yeah.
If you do this, you need to go to jail.
Yeah.
Bottom line, it ain't about. I mean, Bill Cosby is a hero with the things that he did and his philanthropy and all of that. But if he raped these women, you're no longer a hero to me.
You know what I kind of want Bill to do? I believe Bill may do a year and a half. I don't know. I don't know if he has to do the entire 3, but he may do a year and a half too. I go with that. I want him to come out because he left with all his faculties. It seems, meaning mentally.
Yeah,
I want him to come out and just go on a crazy press run because I don't know if we can do the double indemnity thing with him. I want him to speak out because I think he was kind of gagged in terms of they use his.
He wasn't able to speak. As much as he wanted
they use his deposition as his testimony, if you will.
True.
So what I want him to do is come out and just bear it all, even if it may be so harsh that we can't take it. I want to hear both sides of this, or see both sides of the spectrum. I want to say, okay, this is what I did. This is what we did. Not saying he got to throw people under the bus, but me and this individual, me and this woman, this is what we did. We did it 3 weeks in a row before because I feel that
it was many unanswered
questions.
It
was 50-50. And I don't want to say it was a casting couch situation because that sounds horrible, but I feel that it was a play for promotion of my career, and it soured or didn't go the way that I wanted. But now, and
that's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you look at the women, and not all of them, but if you look at a lot of the women in a lot of the cases, all of them, not all of them. Let me step back. I want to choose my words carefully here, because again, I don't want to make this about us bashing the victims.
I think I know where you're going.
But if you look at a lot of the women who came forward and said, yes, Bill did this to me, they're in the entertainment business or the industry. They're actors, actresses, aspiring writers or producers or executives. And you can't just say that it's circumstantial that so many of these people, so many of these women, so many of these victims may not have just been, I don't want to say targeting, but may not have been looking for an individual agenda to better themselves going forward. Again, I don't want to try to say or portray that Bill Cosby is a victim here, because he's not. If you raped or you drugged these women, you deserve to be in jail, and that's where he's going.
We just trying to dig in between the layers a little bit, pull the sheets back a little bit.
You got to, you have to, because if we're going to try to put the puzzle pieces together, let's put all of the facts out there.
Some broken promises was afoot.
Gotta be. If you look at the lady who he gave the $3.5 million to.
Which one is this? The 2004 Howard Stern looking.
Yeah, the one with yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she
Borat.
Yeah, for lack of a better analogy for the way that she
Vince
looks.
Vaughn.
She's a very masculine.
But he said, I'm sorry. She said this whole thing took her beauty away. She dealt with it for a long time because it's gone.
Shorty, they had some pictures of you back when this supposedly happened. You was very handsome back then.
She wasn't popping. She wasn't popping.
No, man, she looked like a dude.
She looked like Steve from Married with Children.
She looked like a dude then. She looked like a dude now. But that's trivial.
Hey man, but pleasure won't.
You still look like a man. But my thing is this. Okay, if this was that traumatic, and again, I don't want to seem callous to the situation, but if this was that traumatic, how many rape victims still hang out or subject themselves to being in the company of the person who raped them?
Now that I agree.
She went back to this man's house. She said like 14 times.
Because normally they're embarrassed.
Yeah, she said she.
From what I've read,
this is her admission.
Yeah,
she went back to his house 14, 15 times. She still would visit him or talk to him once or twice.
And that's
week.
The thing.
She still used him as references.
Out of all 14 of those times, you mean to tell me that? And I guess it's a moot point at this moment. But you all didn't engage in anything within those 14 times. Now, if he drugged her, shame on you, Bill.
Yeah.
But was something consensual well, it really don't matter. If you was drugged, you was drugged. Exactly. So it don't matter. But I think with all these women, there was some form of a relationship, whether it's a girlfriend or I'm gonna get you on this show, I can get you behind the scenes here. He had a game.
Yeah, and even still, on top of all of that, that's Bill's fault. Bill, no matter which way you twist it, whether you think he did this or not, Bill was manipulative. He twisted these situations.
Yeah.
He used these women in the way that he wanted to, whether you think he had sex with them or drugged them or not. I think he did. Regardless, he manipulated the situation, and any punishment that he gets, he deserved because he put himself in that position.
Yeah, it's all well deserved.
But my thing is this: if you're the victim in this case, if you've been raped, if you've been sodomized, if you've been drugged, if you have been taken advantage of, why would you continuously put yourself back in the position for it to happen again? At some point, you have to say, hey, I got to remove myself from this situation. Because if it did this much detriment to your mind and to your psyche and to your body as you say that it did, why would you continue to subject yourself to the same thing over and over and over? Why? That's that line that's teetering on the cusp of insanity to me. Why? Well, what's the point of you continuing to go back? If Bill is such a monster, and I'm not taking it away from him, I'm not saying that he's not. I'm going to continue to keep saying that because I don't want people to say that, oh, you defended Bill. No, the hell I'm not. But if you are put in this position,
you're also rational too.
You gotta be rational. You have to be. It's no way in hell that you let somebody rape you and then you use them as a reference on your job, or you still go back to their house 14 times.
Either the money ran out, or he said it wasn't anymore. I'm through with all this.
Something.
You do what you got to do, and she went and did it, or they went and did it. We don't know.
It's no logic to continuing to having a relationship with somebody who took so much away from you.
I agree.
You cannot point to me. You can't paint the picture. You can't create the rationale that makes me say, oh, okay, yeah, I see why she went back to this man's house 14 times after she got raped. That makes sense. You can't paint that picture for me.
And you can't tell me the 14th was when it all clicked.
Right. It's like, you know what? 13, I didn't get it this time, though. This time, Bill slipped me them pills.
Yeah.
I'm through. Can't go through this no more. And then use them as a reference for a job.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I don't know if he gave the reference.
Stop it.
I mean, if he got the phone call and gave a good...
like, yeah, she a bad motherfucker. Yeah. I don't know.
Dark roast.
I don't know.
Earls of Grey is what she...
know. Yeah, right. Yeah. You know, she likes tea in the morning.
Yeah, you know.
Crumpets on the side. I don't know the dynamic.
Make sure you crush them there.
But one thing that I know for sure is, if you're in a situation like that, if you're in a position, a compromising circumstance where someone is taking advantage of you, you have to do everything in your power to remove yourself from the situation.
Yeah.
You visiting this man 14, 15 times, using him as reference, still calling him, still keeping a relationship, that's not removing yourself from the situation. And if that's the case, her individual testimony should have been thrown out. Just because, to me, I don't think she has a foot to stand on because she didn't remove herself from the situation. If you look at it, it's the same way when they charge murderers for being accomplice. It was like, oh, I didn't pull the trigger, I was just driving.
Yeah.
Or I didn't know he was going to shoot them, I was just there. You know, I was in for the robbery, I just didn't know. No, you're an accomplice. Because you had the wherewithal, you had the mindset, you had the knowledge to say, I can remove myself out of this situation to make sure that I don't get in any trouble, or to make sure that I don't have any harm to come to me, or I know that this is bad, I need to make sure that this isn't something that I want to be attached to. So the first initial time, maybe you may not have had anything that you could have done. You was drugged, I completely understand. But once you're cognizant, once you're aware, why the hell would you ever want to be back around Bill Cosby? And that goes for any rapist. Why? So her individual testimony, I can only speak for her, should have been thrown out. The other women, who maybe it was only one time or whatever, he still needed to be prosecuted. He still needed to be persecuted. He still needs to be painted a villain, in my opinion.
I agree.
Because if you did that, you deserve to be in jail. You can't be a hero in my eyes anymore, no matter how much you've done, no matter how much it hurts. Because he was a hero. You know, I loved the Cosby Show. I loved the philanthropic things that he did, giving back to colleges, giving back to his community, giving back to Philadelphia, giving back to other black actresses and actors who were just trying to come up, and he helped pave a way and pave a path for them. All of those things was wonderful. But once you did this, a lot of that goes out the window.
For me, it doesn't, because it still doesn't take away the thousands that he's put in school. You
Millions.
know,
Millions.
It still doesn't take away what his show or shows have done for our community. Being a fixture. That's and being an image to portray. Remember, those are characters.
Flat out, his show changed lives.
Yeah. So
I agree.
So that is when I always have this discussion with people. I'm able to separate, because his art was on point. His art is going to be here forever. It's going to be here no matter how much they try to ruin it or take away. His art's still going to be here. So that is what I can separate from him. The man is himself. He's a man. And men are, we're not made to. We got things that we need to work on.
Absolutely. No man is perfect.
But his art, I can't take away his art. I can't do that. Because that's here.
And when but let me paint the picture. Devil's advocate again.
Okay.
Right now, we are creating art. To me, you have a brilliant mind with the way that you can see things, you can visualize things. If y'all don't know, Steph set up all of the audio, the visual, and anything tech on this podcast, that's him. He got all of that. All of that artistic creativity that you have and that you possess is great. Steph, if you get prosecuted for rape, this is over.
Yeah, so
I'm not shooting the pot with you no more.
No, I understand that.
So that's my thing.
But it doesn't take away from the art that was already projected. It may take away from the art moving forward, but it doesn't say that what I created or manifested before still is not great art.
I can't. That's true. I can't take away from the art.
You're just not gonna rock with it.
I can't at all.
So if I get let me stop.
Hey, stop putting candy on his desk. Hey, whoever you are.
Hey, boy, Chester Cheetah.
Yeah, but I find it harder to separate the two when it comes to something this bad. When
so you mean to tell me you can't watch? You just sitting at the crib and the Cosby Show come on. You just not gonna watch it.
I'm not saying that.
You just can't watch it.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying I can't look at him in the same light. I still can digest the Cosby Show. I can still say, man, Cliff Huxtable was the man.
That's what I'm saying.
He was a doctor. But every time I see him, be like, man, he was out here raping them hoes.
No,
he was out here raping them women. Let me stop.
That I don't see that because then I can look at Mike. I know Mike done did some stuff.
It was women on the cast who said the same thing. Not Claire, but it was women on the cast. Not just necessarily in the cast, but women who worked there. I don't know if they was behind the scenes or they worked with the Cosby Show, and they said some funny things. And like Bill was a little,
they didn't quit.
They showed it.
So that's whenever somebody say something, I got a ... or I got a comma, but you didn't this. You
right.
stayed for the show.
You're right. So that goes back to what I said. Well, if you got a feeling or if he took something away from you, then remove yourself from the situation.
Yeah.
And you right on that. You right on that.
You can't say it ain't Kool-Aid because it don't got enough sugar in it.
Yeah, you can.
It's still Kool-Aid. It's still Kool-Aid.
I feel you.
Kool-Aid is the packet. Well, we doctor it up with.
Okay, yeah, we talking technicalities. So I can.
Hey, why I have to say Kool-Aid? I couldn't think of nothing else. Like
the analogy fit. I don't want you to change that. The analogy fit. That was dope.
Oh yeah.
What?
That's the Kool-Aid, man. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I was like, what? Yeah, you're right. Yeah. That went right over my head.
Back to Bill.
Yeah. Back to Bill. I can still watch the show. I can still watch Ghost Dad.
I want you to.
I can still watch the Cosby Show.
You need to.
But in the back of my mind,
oh yeah,
as he's on the show, I'm
all the
thinking
pregnant women that came in the office for guest spots.
I'm like, yo,
you know how they got there.
Was he messing with Shorty?
Yeah.
Was he fooling around with him? I was like, yo,
you know, Beverly Johnson was on the show, the model chick.
Yeah.
But she said she had to wherewithal when she felt herself getting woozy to leave from the his home and get a cab. Yeah. We don't know if something transpired before that, but she was on the show several times.
Beverly Johnson was bad though.
Man, she was bad.
Beverly Johnson was bad.
But let's wrap Bill up, man.
Yeah. We can
talk about Bill forever, man.
We could talk Bill forever. And it's an unfortunate situation.
My heart was heavy. I had to leave my desk, man.
More than anything, the main reason that I really wanted to bring up Bill was I think it needs to be an even playing field. All rapists need to be persecuted to the fullest extent of the law, and that's the way it needs to be.
Rape is the new DUI.
Hell yeah.
Victor Ortiz just got popped today.
That's another very good analogy right there. Rape should be the new DUI. We're prosecuting you to the fullest extent of the law because this is not something that women or men or society needs to be subjected to. So I'm with you on that, man. Moving on to again. Let's go back to a high note. Let's go back to Chicago again. I know we started off with Lupe. Kanye West.
He out.
Kanye, as Steph said, as Kanye has said, let's say that because he's alluded to it.
Yeah.
He's out of the sunken place.
Yes.
Kanye, if you've been following Kanye, as I have, even while he was in the sunken place, Kanye always been my man.
I never thought he was in it, and I told you that before. But
Kanye has been very, very active, very vocal, very visible in the city of Chicago lately. Mm-hmm. He did the Social Works open mic thing with Chance.
Yep.
and there he announced that he's moving back to Chicago. He said he's never leaving again. Mm-hmm. First of all, I think we're going to get an even more creative Kanye.
Yeah,
we saw our best Kanye when Kanye was still in Chicago. Mm-hmm. And he's already said this, is that he's so much more inspired when he's back home and he's seeing the things, he's seeing the people. Mm-hmm. He was just out at Chicago State, and he's back home. Yeah, man.
He's around, man.
He's back in the sauce. He back feeling it, and I love the fact that you can see it though. You can see he's smiling more. He got this kind of aura to him where it's just like you can see the creativity is just like bubbling out of this dude. It's bursting, and I love the fact that Kanye looks happy when he back home.
Man,
and
absolutely.
I love the fact that he just looks happy. He looks motivated. Mm-hmm. He looks like he back in his bag. Man.
And you know what? People can say what they want to say about Kim, and we've talked about it before. How we gained a lot of respect from Kim from how she was holding him down when all of this stuff was going. Kim is the one. I like her and him together because I think, however big she is, she's huge.
Yeah,
he's huge. But I think and people say when you get a Kardashian, it goes downhill and all that. But I think the way that he's molded and the way that he's, bred, if you will, she balances that out. Mm-hmm. Where she's we think of her as being over the top, but I see her and just listening to her in interviews and the way they interact together. Yeah, she's the yin to his yang.
And that's all you really can ask for. I don't care how you feel about her personally, whether you like what she stands for, what you like what she does, whether you think she's a great business mind or whether you think she's talentless. I'm just thinking about all the things that people say to her. But let's just boil it down to what you really are looking for. I can only speak for myself or some men in general. Let's just break it down. My father says this all the time. This brass ass facts. Mm-hmm. When you break it down, what are you looking for in a woman?
Absolutely.
I want a woman to be ambitious.
I
want a woman to have my back. Mm-hmm. If I'm down, a woman who can lift me up, and a woman who can stand behind her man. Throughout their entire marriage, or throughout the entire time, or the things that we can see anyway, when has Kim faltered on any of those? Mm-hmm. She hasn't. Mm-hmm. So why would you not like that union? Mm-hmm. I think it's beautiful. Yeah. Whether you have something to nitpick about her talent or what you think she is or what she can't do, or you want to nitpick about her physicality and it's like, oh, her butt is fake and her hips is fake and her lips I don't give a damn. If she's standing behind Kanye, if she's ambitious and she can say, hey, I can go out and get my own, but yet I don't need to shine a larger cast a larger light on my man. I can still I know how to fall back.
And if you think about it, once she got the kids, she kind of has fallen back a little bit. Yeah. She still is out there, but it's not as much as it was before.
She's a mom. She holds down her home. She holds down her kids. She holds down her man, and she's still out here grinding, making this money, and being who she is. How could you not like that? You don't have to like her as a person. But how could you not like her as a wife? How could you not like her as a mother? How could you not like her as a concubine for Kanye West? I don't give a damn whether you like them on a personal level. That's all subject to opinion.
Because she's proven she's dope at that.
Yeah. I don't see where you are saying that she falters as a wife, a mom, or a woman standing behind her man. I don't get it. So if you have a problem, then that just may be more so on your shallow end of an opinion. Yeah. But I love the way that she holds Kanye down. And his rut that he was in, no matter through all of this, through him losing his mom and his depression and his drug use and the ups and downs of just being famous, period. There has never been a point in time where you say like, oh well, Kim was out here cheating, or Kim was finna leave Kanye, or Kim ain't taking care of the kids, or Kim is out here doing something that she ain't got no business doing.
Kim with Kanye because it's Kanye. Get all that out of here.
Come on, man. I don't see how you can continuously have faults for Kim Kardashian if she's out here doing everything that you would look for on the surface. I can only speak from what we see on the surface. I don't know these people personally, but from the surface level, how could you not like what Kim is doing for her man?
You gotta dig it.
I love what they got going on. I love the fact that Kanye is back in Chicago. He seems back motivated. He's creative. He's saying he don't ever want to leave again. So I'm all for it, man.
I'm here for it too, man.
I'm all for it. I think the Kanye movement is dope. Shout out to Ye. I always thought he was a genius, no matter what was going on. And I'm here for it, man. I'm here for all of that.
I agree. And
man, so if you got any thoughts on the whole Kanye thing coming back to Chicago, definitely put them in the comments. Let us know what you got. Let us know what you think. Same thing goes for the Bill and the Me Too movement. I know we gave our take and our perspective as we always do, but we wanna hear from y'all, man. We wanna hear what y'all think. We wanna hear what y'all perspective is on those things, and just enlighten us on what you feel, or if it's anything that we may have missed, or it's anything you want us to delve deeper into.
All things at the Wrap Up Podcast.
At the Wrap Up Podcast. We on iTunes, iTunes Podcast app. We're on Google Play. We're on SoundCloud. We on YouTube. Everything is at the Wrap Up Podcast. On Instagram too. So hit us up, man. Let us know what you think. Keep on rocking with us, yo.
Before we jet though.
What I missed?
It's that time of the year.
Oh,
training camp has started.
Almost missed it.
Training camp has started.
Training camp has started.
So we're gonna let's do our way too early.
Way too early.
Well, no, really, because the season starts next month.
It is, but it's still early.
So way too early basketball predictions, NBA predictions.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna shoot them out there. We just do quick answer, quick fire.
Cool.
MVP.
Oh, that's Kyrie Irving. I think he got a lot to prove.
Okay.
I think he got a lot on his shoulders. Healthy Kyrie Irving.
Okay. 6-man.
Wendell Carter Jr. I'm gonna be biased.
Okay.
I think he's gonna come in.
Coach of the year.
Coach of the year. Budenholzer.
I was thinking Budenholzer.
I think he can turn Milwaukee around.
Who's in Atlanta now?
You got me. I have no clue, dog.
Where did Larry Drew grow? Because he when he left Toronto, didn't he go to Atlanta?
Did he? I don't think so. Maybe.
Rookie of the year.
Luka Doncic.
Rookie of the year, I'm gonna say Luka. MVP. I got a feeling they may give it to KD. And I'm going to tell you why. KD today announced that he's upset with people not giving him his props and all his accolades. I see that. And he's a way better player than y'all portray him to be. So he may have something to prove. But it's hard to do with 4 All-Stars.
It is.
On one team.
It is. I completely wanted to steer away from everybody on Golden State because first of all, they got a huge target on their back.
Yeah.
So unless somebody just comes out and plays ridiculously,
but I won't be surprised if they give it to LeBron.
Yeah. With what he can do over there in LA, I can see that. But I'm going with Kyrie. He gonna have inflated numbers because the East is flat.
Yeah.
If he's healthy, he gonna be out there cooking in Boston.
All right. So, I agree.
I'm gonna still stick with. I'm gonna stick with Kyrie.
Who you got coming out the East?
A healthy Boston.
Healthy Boston, I agree.
Look what they did without the health.
Boston over who? Philly?
Nope. I'm going Boston over Toronto.
My guy even said Toronto. I think Toronto getting a lot of love, man.
I think Philly takes a step back. I think we will see a huge improvement from Ben Simmons. I think we'll see an improvement from Markelle Fultz. I think their bench and their role players are going to regress. I think we're going to see Joel Embiid plateau. He's not going to get worse. I think he's just going to be kind of even.
He's where he is now.
He is where he is.
Who's out the West? Golden State. We'll just throw it out there.
It's the West is too. They're very top heavy. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Houston. I'll see how Golden State can mesh with adding DeMarcus Cousins. I don't think he's going to cause too much of a rift. I think they're going to still be super powered. Watch out for OKC. Okay. OKC is not going to have the the identity issues that they had last year, but you don't want to see Billy Donovan overcoach them. I think Billy Donovan is their biggest hurdle. Mm-hmm. Billy Donovan can't coach egos.
Now, lastly, your surprise team other than the Bulls, because I think the Bulls gonna do some work.
Surprise team, Denver Nuggets. That young backcourt is going to get even better. Paul Millsap is going to have another year under his belt with working with them. Denver Nuggets. Plus, they drafted Michael Porter Jr.
You know who I'm intrigued to see, and I know it's the cliche name to say. I'm intrigued to see Houston, because I want to see how Melo fits coming off the bench.
I agree.
And I want to see if coming off because we all said last year that he should have came off the bench in OKC and ran with the second unit.
Agreed.
So
I think it would have gave him more wiggle room. It would have had a chance for him to flex his muscle a little bit.
So I'm interested in Houston, OKC forever, because I just like Westbrook's game. And I'm kind of interested. I'm a Lakers fan, but not so much LeBron fan. I want to see how they play this year, knowing that this is a season that's not going to merit anything.
It's going to.
I want to see Lonzo Ball.
It's not going to merit anything, but they have to take a huge step forward.
Yeah.
They have to.
Yeah.
They have to.
I agree. There's a lot of good stories this year, man. Dirk last year.
Yeah.
Vince last year, possibly.
Wade last year.
Wade last year. Dwight over in Washington. Is that finally going to put them over the top?
That might be a sleeper.
The Bulls got the young crew.
They do.
And everybody's calling them out as sleepers, but a lot of people saying they're not going to do anything. So
I got them 7-10 somewhere around there. I hope they surprise us. I hope they make the playoffs. I think they're 7-10 range.
Portland. Do they keep Dame and McCullough together? Do they break it up? So this is going to be a dope season, man.
It is, man. I can't wait.
A dope season.
If y'all don't know, we are super basketball heads, so that's going to take me on.
Kawhi cracked the joke.
He did.
And this
laugh was super awkward. His mouth wasn't moving.
They gave him a jolt in his seat, man. Like, yo, Frankenstein, man. Here you go, bro.
What is wrong? He got Botox in them jaw.
Man, but it's a lot of good storylines, man. I can't wait, man. Undercover coach of the year, depending on how the team does, because they want something to come out of this particular state anyway. Fizdale.
I'm with that.
Fizdale is a sleeper.
I always thought David Fizdale was a dope coach anyway. So
I agree.
That might be a nice one, man. That's enough. We can talk basketball again all day. For our hoop heads out there who watch, let us know what y'all think. Your MVP, your sixth man, your sleeper team, who gonna win it all? Put that in the comments too, man, and definitely just keep rocking with us, y'all. All right,
put a bow.
Peace. It's the wrap up.